today I'm going to be talking about growing wealth in a slow and steady fashion, okay? And, it's something anyone can do, but you have to have the right mindset and the right discipline for it. Hi guys, how are you doing? So let me introduce myself. My name is AnitadeSouza. I'm a chartered management accountant and a finance and wealth coach. So what do? I help individuals and entrepreneurs to optimize their financial health so that they can build wealth and live the life of their dreams, okay? Guys, if you want to change your mindset and you want to start, saving and, even saving better, I invite you to join my savings group. I'm going to put the link above so that you can just, click on it and then answer the questions, and there you go. The thing is, if you're watching, let me know who you are, let me know your name, let me know where you're watching from and how you are doing. Okay, so let's get started. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the term, the best time to have planted a tree, right, was 20 years ago, right? But, if you couldn't have done that, when is the next best time to plant a tree? Now. And that relates to your finances, right? If you're somebody who is afraid to face their finances, if you're somebody who, is worried about your future finances, then, this is why you should start looking after your finances now rather than later, all right? I don't know if you've noticed, but most millionaires and billionaires have grown their wealth in a slow manner, okay? And you will notice that it's over time and it's, out of sight. So a lot of the time people are building stuff and you won't see them do it right in front of the public, right? But, people are doing it. People then see, the iceberg of, somebody's success. So the iceberg appears and someone's like, oh, they're overnight success. Well, actually they're not, okay? Because it would have taken them a lot of time to build what they have built for you to see the success coming out of it. So people don't see things like, hard work, persistence, late nights, okay? Rejection, sacrifices, discipline, criticism, doubts, failure and risk. A lot of people don't see all these things that it takes to become successful. So don't look at somebody and say, oh, I wish I had what they had, because half the time you don't realize the kind of strength, the time and the energy that is taken to get them to where they've gotten to. So I saw a post the other day and I really liked it, and it talked about some of the biggest companies in the world now, how they started in somebody's garage, right? So again, we think that, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, so I can't start that business, I can't start looking after my finances, it's all excuses, because the truth of the matter is some people have built their wealth, their companies, and it started in their homes, it started in their garages, okay? So, if you're making that excuse that you can't do something with yourself, it's just an excuse, okay? Thanks, Daryl. It's just an excuse. So the whole point is that half of the time you don't need anything to start building wealth. You don't need anything to start building, a business. What you need is determination. You need that drive, and you need, focus, right? So yeah, if you're one of those people that are making an excuse saying, no, I can't, start this business, I can't do that because I don't have, please think again, right? And really look at, your situation and start focusing on what needs to be done. Life is too short. We don't have time to play games and to make up excuses. If you're serious, get serious and start making a change now, okay? So we are talking about wealth today. And what does wealth mean? Wealth means an abundance of a valuable possession or money, okay? So let me say that again. Wealth means an abundance of a valuable possession or money. So, in other words, wealth has a different meaning to different people, okay? So, for me, wealth can be financial, but for somebody else, it could be about the family. It could be about physical wealth, which is to do with mental health, it's to do with physical health, it's to do with health and wellness. Or it could be social health. So that would be having a strong family unit, or having, really good supportive friends, or even just enjoying your life. That is social wealth. But in this case, in this live that I'm doing, I'm talking about financial wealth, okay? And, I always say that there's a difference between financial wealth or wealth and being rich, okay? Because people can literally be rich overnight. You have overnight successes. But if you're rich in a fast way, no doubt, okay, you can lose that money in a fast way as well, right? So, but wealth is all about abundance. And everybody knows the word abundance is so powerful and it has so much meaning, right? I love the word. I hope you love the word abundance too. If you do, just type in the comments below, abundance, abundance, abundance. So that's why we're talking about wealth, and we're not talking about getting rich, okay? So if you are trying to build wealth from scratch, or you're trying to build wealth in a slow and steady fashion, the first and foremost thing you need to do is define what wealth means to you. What does wealth mean to you? Does wealth mean a financial wealth? Does it mean physical wealth? Does it mean social wealth? What does wealth mean to you? You need to define it, okay? The second thing is, you might not be in the best position that you're in now, okay? But that doesn't stop you from trying to better your life and do more in your life, okay? So you need to start having the right mindset. You need to start thinking about the right things, okay? You need to start asking yourself, what do I want in life? What does wealth mean to me? Because when you start thinking about it constantly, what happens? It goes into your subconscious, right? And when it goes into your subconscious, as you're sleeping and, as you wake up, you start seeing more opportunities. But if you're coming from the perspective of lack, believe me, the opportunity will be staring in your face and you will not see it, okay? So we need to start asking ourselves, what does wealth mean to me? And by that, you need to start writing it down, and you need to start thinking about it constantly. So I'm asking you today, what does wealth mean to you? It can be financial wealth, it can be physical wealth, it can be social wealth, because at the end of the day, health is so important as well. And when you're not well, right, you don't think about anything else. You don't think about money. You don't think about, your business. You think about getting better. So the question is, what does wealth mean to you? Okay. And then another thing is that when you are trying to build wealth, don't look left and don't look right. Just look straight ahead. Focus on what is important to you. Because when you start looking at other people, you will get kind of distracted. You will not be able to focus all your attention on building yourself up and doing great things for yourself, okay? So when you are trying to build wealth, do not look at what other people are doing, because remember, we are all different. We were all brought up in different ways. Wealth means different things to everybody. So just because somebody has money does not necessarily mean they're happy. Money does not equal happiness, okay? Wealth, on the other hand, will give you the opportunity to do the things that you love. It will give you the opportunity to have more time on your hands, okay? I read an article the other day, and it was about the 4 stages of wealth, okay? And with everything that you read, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But I really liked this article, and I thought it was quite interesting. So it talks about the 4 stages of wealth. The 4 stages are novice. So that is somebody who is lacking in wealth, okay? That is somebody who has a lot of liabilities, like loans, like credit cards, and needs to work to maintain their lifestyle, right? So that is somebody who is in the crazy, what do they call that? Rat race, right? So a novice in wealth is someone who is in the crazy rat race. And, people, don't get it twisted. You can have a lot of income, but still be poor. Why? Because you are not managing your income properly, right? So the sad thing is that a lot of people are in this stage of wealth, as in a lot of people are in the novice stage of wealth, because they are not thinking about how to get themselves out of that situation, okay? So the next stage of wealth is amateur, right? So this is somebody who knows a bit about investing, somebody who has been investing for a while, okay? And somebody who has, income producing assets, okay? And I will talk about assets in as I go along. But some people, like the amateur, is somebody who has assets that are producing income for them. That's the second stage of wealth. The third stage of wealth is financial independence, right? This is my goal. This is where I want to be in 10 years' time, right? And, somebody who is at the financial independence stage basically has enough passive income to cover their expenses, right? It means that they can retire comfortably. It means that they can live life the way they want to be. The final stage of wealth is generational wealth, okay? And ultimately, this is where we all should want to be, because what does that mean? Well, it means that we're leaving wealth for our children and their children and their children, right? So generational wealth is basically about having so much income, having plenty of income from your investment that you can keep reinvesting that income, okay? This way, your wealth can keep growing. And you can pass it on to your kids. So generational wealth is wealth that you have that just keeps growing and growing. You don't even have to do anything after so much time, and it just means that you can leave it to your kids, right? So that's generational wealth. What stage are you at on the 4 stages of wealth? So I'm on the amateur stage. Okay, so here are the risks of getting money fast, because there are so many people that want money fast. Okay, the first one is, I don't know if you've heard of the saying, easy come, easy go. Right? Easy come, easy go. It means that if you're getting money quite easily, there's no doubt that you will probably lose that money quite easily, because guess what? It wasn't built over time. You haven't built that knowledge of building wealth. Okay? So the next thing about wealth is that it has to be built over time, because you have to build habits. Okay? You have to build your knowledge. You have to build routines that will take you closer to your goals. So if you're sitting there thinking, what's a quick way to get rich? You are just not going to get rich fast, because it's not going to happen. Okay. And then, another thing is, what you put in is what you get out. It's also known as the law of cause and effect. Okay. Some people think that they can just sit down, cross their legs and drink a cup of tea and become wealthy. When in fact, a lot of the millionaires and successful people who haven't had money handed to them have had to work so hard for it. Okay. And you don't see the hard work that goes into it, because all you see is them smiling, showing their cash, showing their big cars. But at the end of the day, behind the scenes, they're working so hard. So what you put in is what you get out, right? And never hope for, wealth more than you're willing to work for it. Never hope for wealth more than you're willing to work for it. Because a lot of people, they're like, I'm hoping for this, I'm hoping for that. But are you working towards it? That's the question that needs to be asked. And then another thing is that it requires a lot of wisdom to build wealth. So it's got nothing to do with luck. A lot of people might think, I might get lucky one day. It's got nothing to do with luck. It's about trial and error. It's about being around the right people that uplift you, that motivate you. It's about, building the wisdom to build wealth. And it's about learning and failing. So wealth is not something that can just, come to you easily. You have to work hard at it. So let's talk about how you can build wealth. Okay, so I've got 5 steps today to building wealth. So let's talk about that now. So the first step is getting rid of debt. Okay, I am not a fan of debt at all. And a lot of my lives, I talk about getting out of debt. I'm not a fan. And one of my mentors who I look up to and I follow very closely is called Dave Ramsey. Let me know if you've heard of Dave Ramsey, by the way. And he posted something a few days ago which said there is no such thing as good debt. All right. And here's me. I have always thought that there is such a good thing as good debt. I've always seen good debt to be debt that you obtain to generate income from it. Okay. So things like, getting a loan for your business. That is a debt, but through the loan, you're generating more income, and obviously then you will pay the loan back. The other thing is, getting a credit card for your business, which is maybe a 0% credit card. You're borrowing that money, but you're using it to generate more income. But according to Dave Ramsey, right, there is no such thing as good debt. And, he also says that the distance between you and your wealth, right, is debt. The distance between you and your wealth is having no debt. I beg your pardon. Because you should be able to keep your own money. You're working so hard for your money. You should be able to keep your own money to make it work for you, right? But if you're there with debt and you're paying off high rates of interest, you're constantly paying off your debt, how are you then going to be able to build wealth, right? It doesn't work like that at all. So another thing is that, having a mortgage. Some people see having a mortgage for a house, should I say. So purchasing a house and having a mortgage, a lot of people see that as an asset, okay? But according to Robert Kiyosaki, a house that you live in is not a, how can I put it? It's not an asset. A house that you live in is a liability. This is how he sees it, because you are not generating money from it. But actually, I think it's not the case. When you purchase a house and you've got a mortgage for it, although you've got a mortgage, the house appreciates. So although the house is not generating income, it's still appreciating. So it's still an asset, okay? But, one of the things that you should think about, if you have a mortgage, right, it's amazing. If you have a house that you purchased on a mortgage, congratulations to you. The question is, what are you trying to do now? What are your next steps? Are you planning on just, living in that house and paying off that mortgage? Your goal should be to pay off that mortgage as soon as possible so you can own that house. The idea is you want to own the asset, okay? And you want to get rid of all that debt, okay? So, what can you do to get out of debt? So the first thing is to try and get out of it as quick as possible. So any excess money you have, pay off your debt. Reduce your expenses to pay off your debt. Do whatever it takes to pay off your debt as soon as possible. Try the snowball method, okay? I've done a video, a live, which was talking about how to get out of debt fast. So if you want to know how to get out of debt fast, I would advise that you go and look up some of my other videos, my other lives, and you will find how to get out of debt fast, and that will help you, okay? And, paying off debt is a very painful thing, because the thing is that, that money you're paying it off, you think, oh, I could be using it for this and that. But actually, you are helping yourself in the future. Your future self will thank you for getting out of debt. Decide that you don't want to be in debt, okay? And just focus on getting out of it, okay? And, if you become debt-free, okay, and you don't like it, guys, you can always go back into debt. If you don't like being debt-free, right, you can always go back into debt. You can always go and purchase some things and put yourself back into debt. But I don't think there's anybody on this planet who would not like to be debt-free, okay? So work hard to become debt-free. That's step number one. Number two, turn your liabilities into assets. So if you own a mortgage on your home, it's not an asset, it's a liability, because you are not generating income from it. But as I said, because the house appreciates, you may consider it as an asset, okay? But, one of the things that you can do is to rent a room. Once you rent a room in your home, you're getting income in there, which can help you to contribute to your mortgage. I've been watching these programs which talk about, I think these people are based in America, but what they do is they buy homes and then they remodel their homes so that they can become units. So they have 2 units in their homes, right? And what happens there is that they end up renting one of the units to people, and then they live in one of the units in their homes. And what happens? The people that rent one of the units in their home actually covers their mortgage. So now you've got a property, you've got a mortgage, but you've also got people renting part of your property and paying for your mortgage. So you're now living for free, right? You are living for free. And that is a way to turn your liabilities into assets. Another way is if you have a car, especially in London, where, we've got public transport, London Underground, all of that kind of stuff, and you work in the city and you own a car, right? you're not going to be driving your car to the city. So what you could probably do is rent out the car the days that you're not using it. There are companies that can do that for you. And what are you doing? You're turning your liability, because you've bought the car, you have to pay to upkeep it, and it's just sitting there doing nothing. So if you're now renting your car, guess what? You're actually generating income from your car, right? So that's how you can turn your liabilities into assets. The other thing is, if you're purchasing a car, do not go and purchase a brand new car. That is just silly, okay? Because as soon as you drive the car out of the showroom, your car has reduced its value by 20%. So what is the point of going to buy a car which brand new just to look good and feel good, and it's just depreciating? It is a waste of money. So what do I advise? I advise you buy a car which is 2 to 3 years old. That way you are getting value for money. The studies show that millionaires, most millionaires don't go out and buy new cars. They don't, right? They don't go out and buy flashy cars. They buy cars which are 2 to 3 years old. Even if I guess they're flashy, you can get a good car, for a good price at 2 to 3 years old. There's no point in getting a brand new car, as I said, which will depreciate by 20% as soon as you drive it out of the showroom. That's just not using your money effectively. Warren Buffett, right, who is a guy that I just adore so much, he said basically that, look, this is his quote: "Long ago, Ben Graham taught me that price is what you pay, value is what you get." Okay, so whether we are talking about socks or stocks, I like to buy quality merchandise when it is marked down, and that is the key. Buy things when the price is low. So it's not like you're not buying quality things. You are, but you're just buying it at a better price. That is being smart with your money, okay? And this can apply to a lot of things. Hi, Shilolo. This can apply to a lot of things, guys. You don't have to go out and buy the latest trends. You can still buy nice stuff, but at a reasonable price, okay? And that is what smart people do with their money, okay? And guys, I want you, especially clothes, you can buy it off season and get it when they're doing their sales, right? But you're still buying brand new clothes. You could just wear it in the next season. So guys, can somebody guess what car Warren Buffett drives? He is a billionaire, right? But guess what car he drives? Warren Buffett drives a 2014 Cadillac XTS. Right? Now, let that sink in. He is a billionaire. He could buy any car he wants at any time, at any point, without any issues. But he has chosen to buy a 2014 Cadillac, right? Whereas some people are out here, who can't even afford to buy the car outright, who are, buying all these expensive cars, and, the monthly amounts that they're paying is more than they're even able to afford, right? What for? Guys, we have to stop trying to look rich and start building wealth. We have to stop trying to look rich and start building wealth. Okay, so that is point number 2. Point number 3 is saving and investing. Okay, I love this point so much. Why should we invest, right? Because of the power of compound interest. If you guys do not know about compound interest, oh my goodness, you need to start getting to know about it, right? Because what does investing do? Investing allows you to, put your money in vehicles that will just generate you passive income. Obviously, you need to know what you are doing. Okay, I'm not saying go out there and invest blindly, but you don't have to invest even in high risk things. All you have to do is make sure that you're investing at a very low cost, and the company has had previous years of good returns. Okay, so another thing is that once you invest your money, you don't have to do anything with it. You just leave it there over a period of time. Hi, Innocent, right? So the whole point is to invest, leave your money in, and just be patient. But you have to keep investing, because that compound interest will build and you will generate a lot of income from it. Albert Einstein, right, said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays for it. Okay? So guys, we need to educate ourselves about investing because it's such a powerful tool. And so many people who are building wealth at the moment are learning to invest and are investing. Okay? So, see investing like running. Okay? When you start running, say you're not somebody who runs, because I'm not someone who runs, okay? So say you've started running and, the first day is very hard, right? But you managed to run a little bit, right? And then, hold on. I hope you guys can hear me, by the way, because my mic is a bit dodgy today. So say you're somebody who likes running. You've started learning to run. And the first day is really hard, right? But then the second day, you're not going to start from scratch. You're starting from where you left off the other day. So you're actually building, right, on the previous efforts that you have been learning to run. So as you run, every day you're getting faster, you're getting stronger, and you're able to run for longer distances. That is the same as investing. When you start, you don't really know much about it, and you don't really see your returns happen straight away. But as you continue to invest and as you are patient, the compound interest will start building, right? And then you start seeing it building and building and generating you more wealth. So guys, learning to invest is super, super important. I saw this post the other day by somebody called Grant Cardone. I don't know if you know about Grant Cardone, but he's a motivational speaker. He's a very successful person. He's got a lot of money. And he posted this thing and it was called Show Off or Pay Off, right? And what happens is he has £400,000, okay? And somebody has spent the £400,000 on a Ferrari, right? Top car. And the other person has invested their £400,000 at a rate of return of 15%. Yes, that's a bit, that's a bit of a high rate, but over 8 years, okay? So the person that invested the £400,000 for their car in a Ferrari or whatever, at the end of 8 years, that Ferrari is valued at £112,000. Whereas the investment that was made at £400,000 over 8 years, what is the value? The value is 1.2 million. Okay, so, the point of investing is that it's not about showing off to people. It's about doing what is smart and what is right that would generate wealth. Okay, as I said, let's stop trying to look rich and actually start working on becoming rich. So be wise how you invest your money is really, really important. The other thing is, saving, right? So I've got a savings group, guys. If you want to change your mindset and you want to learn about saving, I invite you to join my savings group. I will put the link above when I finish this live. But basically, what does saving do for you? Saving helps you to stop living paycheck to paycheck because you are actually building money to put aside that you can use when your income doesn't cover your expenses. Because a lot of the time, what happens is that people spend more than they actually get in. And what happens is that when they do that, they have to rely on credit cards, on loans. But once you start saving, you are building money to be used when your income cannot live or cannot help you to maintain your lifestyle. So why should we save? Because saving helps you to get out of debt. You will learn to build this money so you can pay off your debt faster, right? Saving gets you into a habit of looking after your money, right? Saving helps you to build up an emergency fund because we know with life, anything can happen at any time. And the last thing you want to do is start relying on friends and family, start relying on, credit cards and loans to help you to get out of your situation. But if you have money set aside, you always have something to fall back on. So guys, saving is key. So join my savings group, okay? We are doing the 52-week saving money challenge, and it is really, really amazing and easy to do. Right, number 4, having more than one income stream, okay? And I love this point because you cannot become wealthy on just one income. So if you're working for somebody, fantastic. It might be a really well-paid job, fantastic, but you cannot build wealth from that, okay? Well, I guess you could if you were to bring your expenses down, but a lot of the time when people are working and they're getting paid a certain amount, their lifestyle reaches the amount that they are, how can I put it? Their lifestyle reaches the amount that they get in. So Warren Buffett, although he's a billionaire, he never changed his home. Like I don't know if he still lives in his small house, but for a very long time, he lived in a very small house. Why? Because he didn't need a bigger house. But what we do as people, when we get a pay rise or we get a bonus or we get extra money from somewhere, what do? We end up spending it because we're like, more money for me. Let me just go and spend it. Whereas a smart person would say, no, I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to invest it, right? I'm going to invest it in myself, in a business, in stocks and bonds. They are not going to spend it. So guys, I know a lot of people who have gone back to work, have gotten pay rises and bonuses. Do not spend it. Just think about how you're going to use your bonus or your increased pay to help you to build wealth, okay? It's super, super important. Right, so the other thing is that having more than one income stream helps you to diversify the risk. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income, right? How many streams of income do you have? And if you have just one, you need to start thinking about another stream of income. It can be anything. Starting a YouTube channel. It can be using your gifts. It can be creating something and selling it on all these platforms nowadays that you can sell things on. But you need more than one income. And if the average millionaire has 7, you need to be aiming for about 7 different streams of income, right? And, right now with what's happened with COVID and all the craziness in this world, right? There are businesses out there who have lost a lot of income and who are now becoming bankrupt. I don't know if you've heard, but there's so many companies becoming bankrupt right now. But if you have more than one stream of income, you are diversifying your risk, right? You're diversifying your opportunities for, maintaining that income. You won't have to always rely on just one income. If you were to be made redundant, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to rely on? Okay. And I truly believe there are so many opportunities for generating more income, for generating more than one type of income. But the thing is, you have to be open to it. You have to have the right mindset and you have to be working on yourself to be able to see those opportunities. Believe me when I tell you, if you don't have the right mindset, you will not see the opportunities that are right in front of your face. And, you need to start thinking positively. You need to start believing that you're worthy of having these opportunities. You're worthy of having more income. Because another thing is that a lot of us have limiting beliefs about ourselves. Okay. And it is true. Maybe you've been brought up in lack and you think, oh my gosh, who am I to have all this income? Who am I to have such a great life? Who am I to have such, wealth? You need to get past those barriers because wealth, money does not discriminate. It does not discriminate. So it's you in your mind that's discriminating against yourself. You need to believe you are worthy of having more than one stream of income because you are. You wasn't made for no reason. God did not put you on this earth for no reason. You were made for greatness. So you need to see that greatness and you need to start believing in that greatness and start working towards, using your gifts and your talents and all of that to build wealth for yourself. Okay? So, and again, it's not easy. It is not easy. It's really difficult to build wealth. And as I said, don't look at other people and think, oh, I should be where they are because you're not them. And, the best time to start is now. Okay, it's as simple as that. And another thing is that look around you. Look at what people are doing around you. You need to be around people who want the same thing, right? You need to be around people who are striving towards the same thing because that will motivate you and that will encourage you. But if you're around people that don't have the right mindset, it's going to be very difficult for you to push out of it. So, start finding people who are doing the things that you want to do. Start looking out for people who are how you want to see yourself in the future and get close to them. Communicate with them. Get to know what they're doing, how they got to where they're getting to, right? Do not be shy about it. You need to push yourself for a reason. So, right, the last thing I'll talk about is, having a long-term strategy. So I'm at my last point now, guys. I'll be wrapping up very soon. So the last point is about having a long-term strategy, okay? I don't know who said this, but I read it somewhere that all things are created twice, okay? So firstly, they're created in our minds, so mental creation. And secondly, they are created physically. So before anything is created, it's created in your mind, and then it's created physically, okay? So this is why we need to work on our mind on a constant basis. You need to be thinking positive thoughts, not negative things about yourself. You need to be believing in yourself and thinking that whatever it is I want to achieve, I can achieve, okay? So that is why having goals, having a long-term strategy, which is basically having a long-term goals. So, I've got monthly goals, I've got quarterly goals, I've got half-yearly goals, I've got yearly goals, and I've got a plan. What is your plan for achieving those goals? That is a long-term strategy, right? Don't just have a goal and then just sit there and wait for life to happen to you, twiddling your thumbs. You have to actually have a plan. What is your plan, right? How do you expect to get to what you want to get to? You can't just want it and not know how you're going to get there. And, another thing is that try and keep it simple, right? Try and keep life simple. Try and keep building wealth simple, right? So here are some points that I want to leave with you, right? So building wealth, you can do it. You just have to be prepared to make some sacrifices, to be determined, to be focused and driven, okay? So the first thing I want to say to you is that you have the power to create your own economy, right? You have the power to create the life that you want to live. I truly believe that. All you have to do, right, is have simple financial practices that you follow, right? Do not believe what people say that, oh, you can never become wealthy, you can never become financially free. You absolutely can. And there are normal average people that are doing it, right? So the key is to, knowing that you can do it. If you believe you can't do it, straight away, you won't be able to do it. So have the belief in yourself that you can achieve, well, you can build wealth. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as I said, I like to keep things simple, which is spend less than you earn, okay? Spend less income than you earn and avoid excessive debt. I know a lot of people like to, spend out lavishly. And, I always talk about like paying off your debt and all this and saving, but I don't mean it in the sense that you can't live your life. You absolutely can. But if you're not budgeting and, directing your money and planning where your money is going, you will not build wealth, okay? So you need to be in control of your money, right? And how do you do that? You do that by spending less income than you receive. So having less expenses than your income. And what would that do? That will give you excess income to invest, to save, or to build on your business, okay? So that is just simple. You have income, you have expenses, spend less expenses. That is all, okay? The next thing is be future minded, right? Look at your future. Look at what you are trying to achieve. Like I try to be as present as possible, but I also always plan for my future, right? And I'm constantly looking at my investments. I'm constantly looking at the direction of my business. I'm constantly looking at the impact I'm having on people, because guys, we're not just living in this world to have money. Wealth is about being happy, being able to do the things that you love, being able to inspire and bless the people that you want to bless. But you can't do that if you don't have enough income. So it's not all about, oh, I want to be rich. It's about living in your purpose, doing the things that you were put on this earth to do, right? The other thing is that, know where to get help. Guys, do not sit down and not know where to start. If you need help, look for the help that you need and do not feel afraid to ask for help, right? I have a mentor. I have had coaches in the past, okay? I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly building on myself. How are you doing that? How are you doing that? Because we have to be better than we were yesterday, okay? And then tomorrow we have to be better than we were the day before, okay? And then another thing is that Warren Buffett, as you guys know, I love him. I just love him. He says that, if you have kids, right, we leave it too long to start talking to our kids about money, okay? We have to start teaching them about money early so that they as they grow up, they don't want to get themselves into debt. They know how to, save. They know how to invest. They know the value of money. They know how to kind of slowly build their debt. And the younger you are, the easier it is to build wealth, right? So we need to start young with our kids. So, sometimes we feel like we're not doing enough. We all go through that, okay? Because we're constantly growing, we're constantly learning. And sometimes you might feel like, oh, I should be here right now in my life. Look at that person, they're doing so much better than me. When you start feeling like that, look back. Look back at how far you've come. Look back at all the things you've overcome. Look back at, the steps you've taken to become your better self. And know that right now you're trying to do something good with your life, okay? Do not feel like, you're not good enough. You are always good enough. It's just that sometimes we feel like that. And when you do, just accept it. Sit in those feelings, let them pass, and then carry on, okay? And then I would say that I believe that everything will work out. Like, if I could have talked to my younger self, I would have just said, chill, don't stress so much, work hard, have a plan, but don't stress too much about how things will turn out, because they will always turn out okay, right? So guys, know that you are doing really well, but I want you to really think about using your money well. Be smart about the decisions you make about your money, and don't take it lightly, because your future depends on it, okay? Your future self will thank you for sitting yourself down, facing your finances, and saying, do you know what? I'm going to make a change, right? I'm going to make a change, because there's no better time than now. So I'm going to love you. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I love doing this. I could do this every day of my life. But thank you so much for spending time with me. And I will be on here again very soon. Send you guys lots and lots and lots of love. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube, my savings group. Don't forget to send me some love as well, okay? Lots of likes, and do share if you feel compelled. Lots and lots of love, guys.